I've come across a question that is really puzzling me. How does Amazon, the second largest company in the world, lose $2.7 billion? When we think of these mammoth entities, we think of stability. I mean, Amazon's the size of some small nations. In terms of scale, it generated $514 billion in revenue, employs over 1.5 million people, and its building space is the equivalent of over 11,000 football fields. 11,000. I don't think I can even imagine that number. Based on all of this, you would think that Amazon makes tons and tons of profit. But it didn't in 2022. When we look at Amazon's annual report, 10K, whatever you want to call it, we start to peel back some of this mystery. Amazon has been growing like crazy, and with hyper growth and at this scale, we see insane figures like $84.3 billion spent on fulfillment and $42.2 billion spent on sales and marketing, basically advertising and the related salaries. All these costs have grown as Amazon chases expansion. But as a share of total revenue, they haven't really grown much, so there's nothing really alarming there. What stands out, however, is this kind of random item called Other Income Expense Net. Annual reports usually don't have a succinct definition for these types of items, but the way I like to imagine it is a catch-all term that hoovers up everything that hasn't been talked about elsewhere. What on earth made these other income or expenses go from a gain of $14.6 billion to a loss of $16.8 billion? If we dig through the notes, we catch this line item called marketable equity security valuation gains or losses. They're essentially the shares or stocks that a company holds as investments. When the share price goes up from the share price that we paid for the company, we make a valuation gain. But when they go down, we lose. Okay, so we know that some investments have turned sour, but now our question morphs into who can we attribute this to? Surely there is a company that we can pin this loss on. Enter Rivian. In 2019, Amazon invested heavily in Rivian. It even placed the largest ever order for electric delivery vehicles, 100,000 EDVs. Because of this investment, Amazon's stake, its ownership interest in Rivian, is now about 17%. But plagued by COVID, many electric vehicle manufacturers have seen their share price plummet in recent years. Their production has been impacted by chip shortages, supply chain issues have caused difficulty in meeting demand, and labor shortages, among other challenges, have caused difficulty in getting talent. Rivian's share price, like many other electric vehicle manufacturers, has not weathered this storm well. Its share price, which impacts Amazon's line item we saw earlier called marketable equity security valuation gains or losses, has tumbled since 2021. In December of 2021, Rivian had a share price of nearly $104. Fast forward to mid-2023, and this has collapsed to $12.80. This collapse has seen Amazon lose $12.7 billion in its investment valuation, and it is the primary cause for Amazon's loss of $2.7 billion in 2022.